we have a question from Scott Davis. Hello, this is Scott Davis, and my question is, how do you reduce customer churn and increase lifetime value? I'm the CFO of a consulting company, and I noticed that our customer retention isn't as good as we'd like.
It's a question that's near and dear to my heart. And the best recommendation I can give you, and you always want a CMO that will, point you in the right direction, right? If I'm not a subject matter on something, I will bring in the subject matter on something, right? You gotta be humble enough to know when you don't know, and also to point people in the right direction. But I do know this answer very well. But what I will share with you is there's a book that I have in my hand right now called Never Lose a Customer Again. And I think it's an amazing book. And it's not just a straight read. There's no pictures, but there's definitely some breakdowns and some bullet points and some notes in it. The book is written by Joey Coleman. Turn any sale into a lifelong loyalty in 100 days. And this is awesome that we're talking about this because, by the way, here's the book. Okay. So it's awesome that we're talking about this because Jeremy, the last question you just asked about like how important is, brand continuum,
Consistency.
right? Uh, it's really in this book. The sales process used to be like this 8-step process, and it all happened before the engagement. There was no consideration of what should happen post engagement. you know we take for granted that we've gotten a client, right? And we forget. And I think there's this old adage, I don't like it too much, but there's this old adage, always be selling, and that everybody's a big part of that process. See, most companies think it's only the salesperson that's selling, right? But everyone within the company is selling the value proposition of the company. So in Joey Coleman's book, the sales process from the time that they start to then signing is 2 steps. It's just the first 2 steps. So if you change your thinking and your approach, and the approach is that now there's 6 steps beyond engagement, that will help you. Retain those clients. Let me see if I can just find the quick bullets here. Yeah, let me talk about the phases real quick. Phase one is assess. That's when you're understanding what the client needs, and they admit. Basically, they signed a contract. You assess them, they assessed you, and then they admitted to needing your services. They've signed the contract. Now this is the important part. The next 6 steps. Phase three is affirm. The affirm phase is more commonly known as buyer's remorse. So it's really important that once they engage you, that you reassure them that you understand their problem and that you're going to get that solution done. Activate. The activate phase begins with the first major post-sale interaction, right? You're moving forward, they're building confidence that, they know you know what you're doing and that you're going to accomplish that. Phase five, which is basically the third step post-engagement, is acclimate. The acclimation step is really important because you want them to buy in and understand your approach. So I've already mentioned with Marstudio, we have pillars in terms of our engagement. We have actually pillars and silos when it comes to our engagement and execution. And then we have a Marstudio signature process that helps you understand the priorities of what you should be focused on, right? So we're helping them. We know this. My team knows this, but does the client know it? Does the client understand, the process, and are they acclimated to your process? And I love the little icon in this book reference to that is 2 mountains and a sun. It reminds me of like, Mount Everest climbers. You got to acclimate to your ecosystem if you want to survive, right? You got to get your clients to do that. Number 6, which is the fourth step after sale, accomplish. You did what you said you were going to do. And you have to remind them of that. You have to tell them, hey, we got that job done that you came to us for, right? So we affirmed it, we activated, we acclimated them, but we accomplished it, right? And when you accomplish that goal and you make them aware of that's happening, they adopt you, right? They love you, they appreciate you. And then when they adopt you, they don't leave. But there's one thing that can happen beyond that when you do a really good job and they've now adopted you, right? I don't think this is always the case, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the last phase is advocate. When they love you and they adopt you, they start telling everybody else about you. So this is the part of the book I'm not always too sure about, because I think that humans are sometimes a little selfish. And when they find something that they love, they don't want to share it all the time. They want to keep it their own best kept secret. But I guess it depends on whether that engagement is going to affect their business or not, or their life or not. But anyways, I think most people will definitely share, share the good news that they've experienced.